Welcome to In the Notsam Studio, our conversation series here on the Notsam YouTube channel. By now, I hope that you've subscribed to the channel, you've turned your alerts on, you're leaving comments, you've hit like on the video. Hit like on the video already because we have an amazing conversation to have with you today. And if there are other people that you want to see on the show, feel free to leave them in the comments and I'll see what I can do. But today is not about anybody else. Today is about Renee Paquette. Of course, Renee rose to fame in world wrestling entertainment as Renee Young. She was the anchor of the kickoff shows. She was the first female commentator on Monday Night Raw. She also did commentary on NXT and the Mae Young Classic and all kinds of other stuff. She was a jack of all trades behind the microphone in the WWE. And now she has moved on. Renee Paquette hosts the podcast Oral Sessions on the Cow and Cowherd Network.
Whoop, whoop.
She's going to have a cookbook coming out very soon called Messy in the Kitchen. This is Renee Paquette. Welcome, Renee.
Hi. What a treat to see you. Listen, I know you and I had talked. This was many months ago. And I was like, hey, you've got a great home studio. I would like to follow suit. I have not.
Yeah. I remember you texted me and you were like, I may be hitting you up about some tips for the home studio. And I was like, no problem. And then I was like, oh, I guess she figured it out. And then I saw your podcast and I was like, I guess she didn't need to figure it out.
So what I wanted to do is I was like, well, I have a good microphone.
Yeah, great microphone.
Got a better camera. So I was like, well, I've got those two things. And then I was turning my room upstairs. That's where the studio is supposed to be. But my Wi-Fi has been the drizzling shits and it keeps cutting out from there. So I actually have to go later today to get like the proper connection to do the like wireless, I don't know, Wi-Fi thing, however that works.
Yeah. Can I tell you when when we moved into the house, like I let Jess handle everything, soil to the sky. I was like, I don't know what's going on up there. You handle it. And she would like walk down to the basement and see me trying to figure out how to get wired Ethernet down into the basement. So like I never had to worry about anything.
See, that's what I needed. And I actually do have a long enough Ethernet cable, but it'll run literally from my living room upstairs into my office. And there's no way that my 80-pound bulldog does not knock that out.
Yeah. I have a friend, Robert Kelly. He's got a shed, right? And he does all his like podcasts and everything. He's a comedian, but he literally does his show every single night. And he's got a shed that he does everything from. And I was wondering, like, oh, what do you like have the whole shed wired and everything? Did you have an electrician come? And I went over to his house and he literally just had an Ethernet cable going from the house into the shed.
That's spectacular. I like really thought about doing that. And I honestly, I still might just have to do that. I don't know. But my house isn't that big. I don't know why my Wi-Fi shits the bed. Like just upstairs. What's the problem?
Well, do you have like the very hoity-toity Wi-Fi? Do you have like the premium?
I believe so, because I've called them a million times. I'm like, can I just have like the president's Wi-Fi? I would like that package, please.
Yeah.
They said I have it, but might keep cutting out. So.
Yeah. Well, I
don't know.
So but you can't move the mic and the camera. Like you can't have. I guess you can't do the studio in that room. You'd have to move the bed upstairs.
Well, no, I mean, I'm just in a different spare room. The other one had like a cool wallpaper behind it.
The floral.
Art up the floral, exactly. Like I was really turning it into a real like chick spot. I feel like I was like really overdoing it by being like, I've worked in such men things that I want floral this and everything's going to be pretty and these nice little accents. And now I'm just in this dingy beige room.
Yeah. Well, you do got to remind the ladies that you're a lady, right? There's a lot of ladies out there that like listening to lady stuff. And, if it's just like, hey, I'm Renee, I'm a cool boys chick, and we talk about wrestling. It's like, you're still narrowing your focus.
100%. Yeah, I planned on turning that whole room. I was like, well, I'm going to get like a bar cart and I'm going to be sipping on wine. And then I got pregnant. So that I can't do that. Everything's going to be different in the summer. Just wait.
Well,
Just you wait.
Have you also thought about a room that the kid can't get into? Because theoretically, I mean, unless you're planning on moving within a year after you have a kid, which is a whole other set of problems.
Sure.
You know, you got to have a space because your kid, by the time they're 2, at least, is going to be like, oh, number 1, I love mama. And number 2, this is all cool stuff in this room. This should be the playroom.
The room upstairs does have a lock on it.
Okay.
So there's that. There's a lock up there. Yeah, because it used to be, I guess people that lived here before, it was like their office. So I've not employed the lock. I guess I can get ready to put it to work.
Right.
I also just for fun wanted to get one of those like on-air signs to put on. But maybe that's obnoxious.
Well, no, you can't.
Do you have one?
No, I don't.
You should have one.
I don't, but I also want one. But you also you have to do it now so that it's just always in your kid's life, so they don't understand that it's silly and ironic. They're just like, oh, that's how I know. Like, they'll just assume that this is where you work. Like, this is your office and this is how people live. Whatever you do will be what the kid assumes. This is just what people do. They won't be like, this makes no sense.
Baby has to deal with.
Yeah.
Like my actual studio office situation. Yeah, that's a good idea. I'm going to get one. I'm going to order one. I've looked at them on like eBay or like Etsy or whatever. I'm going to get one.
Do you know how to wire them? That's why I've never gotten one. I don't know. Like, I'm not, because I don't want to like.
Get my Wi-Fi set up. Of course I can't wire. No.
Like, you'll start the show and be like, hang on, I got it real quick. Just go outside and switch the on-air light on.
It's just going to turn into a sign that says like, fuck off, I'm recording. Like, yeah. That's all that's going to happen.
Like the purpose is that
written just in like Sharpie.
It's supposed to be wired in so that you turn your mic on and then the light turns on.
Oh.
And that way, like it's in a radio studio so that way you kind of know your mic's on and other people know the mics are on. It's
brilliant. I have worked in radio before, but I always like jumped in working on radio like for fun. I'd be like, oh, I'll just hop on and do this radio show. I never actually had a show on radio. So there's so much about it that I don't know how that works.
Right.
That's brilliant.
You figured it was
that and a cough button. I'm ready to go.
So you literally thought the on-air sign was decoration and that's the entire...
No, I just thought it was on its own switch. I just thought you turn it on when you're going. You'd be like, hey, I'm on, put on the sign, and now turn on my mic.
Yeah.
I thought they were completely separate
Let's
entities.
see. Recording, mic's on. I forgot to turn the sign on. Doesn't count. I wasn't on. The sign wasn't on.
The only person that ever tries to barge in when I'm recording is the dog anyways. He insists on being in the room with me and no one else cares.
Yeah, and he'd have no respect for the sign anyway.
Oh my God. None whatsoever.
None. Yeah. We have a producer, we're all doing the radio show from home. And one of our producers has a...
Hot dog?
Huh? No, Hot Dog doesn't have a dog. I wouldn't trust Hot Dog with anything. No, you could never. Not Hot Dog, but our producer Travis has a French Bulldog. And... whenever he turns his mic on, hey, Travis, what's this thing? He turns his mic on and you just hear. And I'm like, it's supposed to be like a radio show. This is snoring sounds.
I did an episode like that. I had a Megan O'Leary from UFC. She came over. She lives in Vegas and she did my show with me. Her and John are the only people I've been able to do in-person interviews with. So I was using my Yeti microphone for that just between us. Yeah, you could hear Blue during the entire thing. This one at least blocks him out, but my other microphone, you can hear him just like snoring, farting, all of it happens.
Look, it's going to be a beautiful evolution. Like everybody's going to go on this ride. They're going to be like, oh man, the first episode was so great, but look, it's like a whole production now. This is an amazing journey that we've all been on together. And I did notice, I feel like from the beginning, you've been fighting an uphill battle to warm people to the name Oral Sessions. I feel like it's come under a lot of criticism.
A lot. It's funny because I feel like I don't see it that much anymore because I feel like I put it out there and obviously I get where people's minds are going to go with it.
I mean, I figured that was somewhat intentional. Like, it's not like this was news.
It actually wasn't, to be completely honest. I was thinking about different different names for the show. I was like, well, it's just going to be about having a conversation. You take an oral test. Why can't I just call it the Oral Sessions? Everyone's like, oh, it's just about blowjobs. Okay, everyone relax. But anyways, when the news came out that I've joined the Volume podcast network with Colin Cowherd and all that, then I saw in the comment sections like, what the?
Yeah, it's like, well, yeah, now it's like the first hurdle is, no, this isn't a sex show. This is just, I'm trying to.
Could turn a corner though. I don't know. Maybe it will be. Maybe I'll turn into like the new Sue Johansson. Did you guys have that in the U.S.?
Yeah,
that's just Canada.
No, I was obsessed with Sue Johansson for a period of time.
Oh, great.
I thought we start in the U.S. She'd be like on like at random times of the day, like, and you'd just stumble on it and you'd be like, wait, what is this old lady talking about right now?
Like she would like give like real instructions on how to give a blowjob.
Yeah, and you couldn't shake her.
How to put on like a condom. Like she was really like full instructions.
Yeah.
She was like 80.
Yeah, I know. Like, and she was way better than Dr. Ruth. You could not shake her. Like, Dr. Ruth was kind of like, she was cute and fun, but you could shake Dr. Ruth with some like weirdness. Like there was no weirdness you could throw at Sue Johansson that she wouldn't just straight face tell you exactly what the deal is.
So that's what Oral Sessions is going to evolve into. Yes. And I'm really looking forward to where this journey in my career takes me. I'm just not sure.
Can I tell you?
It's actually really funny because my agent messaged me when we were like starting the whole process with Volume. He's like, yeah, I think we're like, this seems like a good opportunity. You're going to get to keep the name of your show. I was like, oh, I didn't know it was up for debate.
Yeah, we gotta own this, man. We need the IP on Oral Sessions.
Yeah, I could feel his distaste with it.
I thought of a different name for your podcast.
What's that?
Okay, so this I feel like kills two birds with one stone. It's a little cheesy, but still, you're really also trying to condition people to call you Renee Paquette, not Renee Young, right?
Right.
What do you do in a conversation? You kind of break things down, right? You kind of unpack it. Huh?
Well, you could call it like pack it up, pack it in.
Pack it up, pack it in. Yeah, I like it. Unpack it. I was like, this is what it should be.
That was like, so that was another thing too. Literally, when I was like thinking about doing the show, I was like, I didn't want Renee Paquette to be the big part of it. I need it to be a different name because I didn't want people to legitimately be confused by me going back to my real name.
Oh, so you want to just slide it in?
Yeah, slide it in, and people will like adjust. It's Oral Sessions with Renee Paquette.
Right. It's like, I know that lady's face, so I'll watch this show. Right, that's
God, I didn't have like a fake first name. That would have been a real doozy.
What was that? How long did it take you to like become Renee Young? It's one thing when like wrestlers have like real character names, like The Undertaker. Like it's like you're either The Undertaker or you're not. But when you have a real name, but it's not your real name, but now it is going to be your real name. Like, did you live as Renee Young? Because there's just, I mean, it had to be around you all the time.
Yeah, it became very fluent for me to just say, hey guys, I'm Renee Young, blah, blah, blah. Like doing any kind of a broadcast, doing any kind of an intro, you get so used to just rattling that off. And when I was doing WWE backstage last week and I said Renee Paquette, that was the first time I've like said it in a studio setting in nearly a decade.
Right.
So I said it, and I mean, it was like written in the teleprompter, so I truly couldn't have fucked it up. But looking at it, because I just said it so quickly that after we did the take, I was like, did I say my name right? I wasn't sure if I said Paquette or Young. Like, I'm so used to saying it. It's so weird.
That's such a weird thing. Cause like I've had many times where I know who the person that I'm talking to, and you'll still have one of those like on the air moments where you double check their name just because like,
yes.
I
would always write it down.
Yeah.
I would write it down on my paper because I'm like, what if you have it like you have like a brain fart and forget your friend's name on the show?
Right. And then you sound like but I never realized that could also happen with your own name.
Yeah. My own name became like foreign to me to say Renee Paquette because I've also just like personally not gone by Renee Paquette for 4 years. I've been Renee Good.
Right, and then I was going to say, and then
adds a whole other layer into it.
Right, and then you change it's still a gimmick name.
It's still a gimmick name because my like on my driver's license and like my social security, I'm Renee Good.
Did you figure that Renee Good would just be like way too confusing? Because it's like, no, I don't
too many
understand.
names.
If it's going to be anything, why wouldn't it be Moxley? This makes no sense.
It was like way too many names to be thrown in there where I was like, well, I have been Paquette on television before. So I'm just going to revert back to that. Also, just like Renee Paquette sounds like nice and like French together.
Exotic.
And the Good would have thrown people for a loop.
Yeah. Who would have thought it'd be so confusing to just be like, I just figured I'd be myself again? Like, it shouldn't be.
What a transition. It's like messing me up.
Yeah.
It's insane.
No, I get it.
It's so stupid.
I get it. So
you got to keep Sam Roberts, you son of a.
Yeah, but people in radio think it's a fake name because it's such a standard, easy, reliable name. Although there was one program director that said, it's too bad you were on radio. He was like a hits program director. I was doing like a top 40 show overnight just to kind of get reps in. And he was like,
Pickles.
he was like, it's too bad that you were already on the radio before and people know you're Sam Roberts because I heard, because my middle name is Wood. Wood is my middle name.
Oh.
Yeah. Which really would have been bad, by the way, if I had married your husband, because then I would have been Sam Wood Good. Yeah.
That would have been really bad. Wood Good.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. But he was like, because there's no way you'd be Sam Roberts. I'd be like, what would you call me? And he'd be like, you would definitely be Woody Roberts. And I was like, oh my God.
Had to have been. He's right. You would have, like, no one's named Woody.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I feel like
you and the cowboy. That's it.
I feel like if I had gone to WWE at a certain time, there's somebody would have been like, "Wood? Oh, we're definitely calling you Woody Roberts." Like it's
without question. Oh my God, that's really good. It's funny. Like, I mean, I'm obviously like thinking of a million different baby names right now, so I'm like constantly thinking of different names. But Wood, interesting. Where does that come from?
I think my mom's grandfather's name.
Okay.
I think. Yeah.
Interesting. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's good.
I'm gonna add it to my like boy list when I have a boy, if I have a boy.
Yeah.
I'm not having a boy now. Next time, maybe.
I mean, whenever I hear anybody's getting a female.
I can't. You just said Wood Good. I could never do that.
Wood Good. Yeah. And that would be the first and last name. Yeah, middle name is Should. What?
Yeah, could.
Whenever.
So stupid.
Yeah, whenever anybody's got it, I even literally pitched this to my wife when she was pregnant with a girl. I was like, you know what her name should be? She was like, what? And it's the same name I pitched for our dog when we got our dog. And I was like, I mean, it'd be great if you named her Bull Nakano. And she was like, what?
Oh my
like,
God.
we're not. I was like, how about just Bull? And she was like, we're not going to burden our daughter with the name Bull.
Well, I really tried to pitch hard for Rocky. I wanted our daughter to be named Rocky.
That would be awesome.
I know it got shut down. It was too derivative.
Yeah, cooler
But I
heads.
didn't even to be honest, I wasn't thinking like the Rocky.
Right.
There's like this really like cool kind of supermodel I follow on Instagram, and her name's Rocky, and I was like, oh, that's a cute name for a girl.
Is that how you pitched it? You're like, no, this isn't just some supermodel on Instagram. She's really cool.
Sort of, yeah. He still didn't bite.
I thought of Three Ninjas immediately. Rocky Loves
of
Emily.
course.
Yeah.
What was it? Rocky Tum Tum, and what was it? I always forget the other one.
Me too.
Colt.
Colt or
Yeah.
Cole or it's Colt?
I think it was Colt.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
I'm pretty sure it was Colt. Yeah, I actually just rewatched that movie recently. I often wake up at like 4 a.m. and I try to find random shit on Disney Plus, and that was on there, and I watched it.
Now, are you waking up at 4 a.m. As a pregnancy thing, or did you always just wake up at 4 a.m?
Well, I used to wake up at 4 a.m. because of a wine thing. I would be drinking wine, and then I would be waking up like kind of like weirdly hungover and dehydrated.
Sure.
I think I'm just like in the rhythm of that. But yeah, now I think it's like a pregnancy thing. Like my hips are always in pain. I'm like always. I have like this giant pregnancy pillow. Did you guys have one of those?
Oh yeah, big person pillow. And you have to after you have the baby, you don't get rid of it, but you put it away. Like we don't need this now, but you never.
What
like
do you do with it?
I don't want to be in this. So like it takes up an entire closet of space. It's basically it's like a person size, pretty firm,
like a big U shape.
Yeah, pillow. Yeah. Yeah, did you actually? I thought about that. Did you like you did the special WWE backstage before the Royal Rumble, and it was like you got to be in all your pregnancy glory on television, which I was really happy for you for because I feel like especially like after you have the baby and, you know, and she becomes a person and everything. That's going to be one of those things you're super happy to have, right?
Totally. You know what? I always thought, like, I always imagined when I got pregnant, that was like a thing I looked forward to. I'm like, I can't wait to be fucking giant on TV.
Yes.
I can't wait.
Yes.
Like, I was like really looking forward to it. And then, you know, I up and leave WWE. I'm like, okay, well, there goes that option.
Right.
Because I always figured I would be pregnant on commentary. There's an inside scoop for you.
Give me this scoop. You know I love scoops.
Scoopy Sam's. I really wanted to get pregnant while I was on commentary, merely as a way to get off of doing commentary.
That's the dirt sheet headline.
I'm like, please let me get knocked up so that I can get out of here. Bring in Samoa Joe. I'll duck out.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really cool to be able to go in and do backstage and like, yeah, just get to be pregnant on TV. I'm glad I got to get a little, and I'm only like halfway there. So if I get to do something else between now and June, like everybody look out.
Yeah. Yeah. It's because it's going to be huge.
It's going to be huge. I already feel huge. So yeah, by the time like June rolls around, I mean, I'll be in a full muumuu, sweating.
Yeah.
Just like in sandals. I'll have my Birkenstocks.
Wouldn't it have been great if you had shown up to Raw in like a full muumuu and sandals and be like, what are you going to, like, I'm pregnant. Like, you can't tell me what to wear. You can't tell me what to do.
Damn it.
Plus,
what is this outfit?
Plus, you know, the press release already would have gone out. Like, the first press release said, we got the first lady doing commentary on Raw. The next press release we have a pregnant lady doing commentary on Raw. Look at this forward-thinking product.
But then you know that it would just go beyond that to being like, hey, listen, you know how Mae Young gave birth to a hand? Hear us out.
Yeah.
It would have been a live birth from the commentary table.
Definitely.
I would hope that Graves and Cole would be commentating it.
Oh, 100%. It's
have to.
Baby time.
Oh, my God. Just Cole and like the Meteora. I don't know. Umbilical cord.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it would have been great. I mean, they definitely would have been like researching how long into pregnancy can you take bumps? Because I know we never asked you to do this before, Renee, but the spectacle is just, it's too great.
Too good to pass up.
Yeah, we need you to take an end of days. You're only 3 months. You should be fine.
No, I always wanted to take the world's strongest slam. If I was doing anything, it would have been the world's strongest slam.
he brings
back Mark.
He brings back the salmon jacket to let you know he's still got a lot left in the tank.
Oh my God. That would have been, it was really a missed opportunity. I should go back for the duration of my pregnancy.
I think so. Yeah, especially now. I mean, but who cares before? You could barely tell.
Yeah. But now, guys, we've got to capitalize on this.
Yeah, I mean, we can't.
Let's do it.
What are we, leaving money on the table? It's foolish.
Here comes your skull-crushing finale.
Just the, whoa.
Oh my God, that is so funny.
Yeah. Now, I have to tell you, what motivated me to be like, you know what, it's time to sit down and talk to Renee again was not your podcast, was not the Callan Cowherd news, was not the cookbook, although we've been talking about the cookbook because at the same time you were announcing the cookbook, Annoying Eater was just
oh my God,
taking the internet by storm. Yeah, I mean, it was just, but what really did it was the Apple playlist.
Oh, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
That Apple playlist that you put out, and I don't know if anybody else looked at it. I don't know what happened.
I don't know either.
Yeah, but I was just like, oh, let's see what Renee put on this thing. And like, usually I'm pretty happy with a playlist that has like a few songs on it that you can listen to. Like, oh, I haven't listened to this in a while. Yeah, it just like reminds you to listen to a song or whatever. But I started going through this playlist and I went, oh my God.
Some bangers.
So like, you won me at the very beginning by just starting. And it's such a ballsy move. You just started with P. Diddy, Bad Boys for Life. And I'm like, that's the beginning of the, like, you haven't even warmed people in. You're just like, a song I really like to listen to is Bad Boys for Life. And it's 2021. And I'm like, I'm going to listen to this song.
I put that on just about every workout playlist I've ever done. I love working out to Bad Boys for Life.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. A little Victory, toss that in there.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. And then I felt like it was going, and then I'm like, okay. Then I loved that it got unapologetic of, hey, the music that I listened to in high school was the best music there ever was.
This was.
Which You know, I have fully embraced, you get to a certain age and everybody feels that way. But yeah,
ours is real.
Ours is real. Like, I'm sitting there and I'm like, Green Day takes over. Old Dirty Bastard is on there. Like, and I'm just like, yes, everything is great. And then Kanye kicks in. And I'm like, this is...
You were not happy with Kanye?
Oh, I was ecstatic with Kanye.
Oh, okay, good. Thank God. Kanye's people are in or out.
Yeah, but
older Kanye, you've got to be in.
Dude, I was having a conversation with somebody about this recently. I don't know that anybody has had a run in music the way he had. When you start stacking up those albums, even through the Taylor Swift, get the hell off the stage era, sure. Kanye West, he was still putting out just so much warranted fire that it was like, oh, yeah, you could do whatever you want. Like, throw whoever you want off the stage. It doesn't matter.
It's so good. One that I almost put on there is Everything I Am. Great Kanye song, because I like that on my workout playlist, but some people don't want that slow.
Right.
The slow jams on there. I'm into it, but that was one that I skipped over for that playlist, but that often makes my playlist as well.
Well, I also feel like there's so much on that playlist that it's obviously a workout motivational playlist, but there was a lot of it was not like you're motivated by the beat. You're motivated by the full song. I feel like there are some people who can't put a slow song like that on a workout playlist because they're not listening to what's going on in the song.
Right.
And I would categorize those people as stupid. They just can't, they can't fully...
They're too dumb.
...wrap their head around what's happening. But I'm sitting there going okay, because Kanye had College Dropout into Late Registration, into Graduation, Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
Come on.
808s and Heartbreaks, which completely... and he just keeps changing the genre over and over and over again. I mean, I don't...
Amazing.
I don't think I even begin to slow down until Yeezus comes out. That Yeezus, there's a couple of hitters, but there's a couple of bangers on Yeezus.
What was Jesus Walks on?
That was on the first one. That was on College Dropout.
Very good stuff.
Incredible. Yeah.
It's so good. And when I go through, when you're going through the Kanye catalog, and especially when you're looking at adding in some workout songs or curating a playlist,
yes.
I mean, there's just so much depth. There's so much to choose from. I couldn't make it an entire Kanye playlist, which I couldn't make an entire Diddy playlist. I almost added a little Mace, but I decided to pull back.
Yeah. Well, I love, because usually when the Bad Boy family is represented, it's so heavy on Biggie because, let's be honest. But I feel like you were so giving in the sense that you were like, no, I celebrate the entire Bad Boy family. It's not just, Biggie Smalls is obviously going to be there. Let's not be ridiculous.
Of course.
But the fact that you shared the wealth, I was like, this is a well thought out thing. And I also got that. And I felt like as I was going through the artist, Renee showed discipline here. She really cut herself off because I could feel that you go from Kanye and you're like, maybe I should do all Kanye. And then you go into Jay-Z and you're like, maybe just all Jay-Z.
God, there's so many there too, especially in that same window of 2000 to 2010, 12, something like that. I mean, beyond that, but you want I want some Big Pimpin' in my life.
Yeah.
Always.
And it was there. Yeah. I could
want to love you. Yes.
Oh, as a matter of fact, I do. Yeah.
Yes, please, for the love of God.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like if I tried to curate something like that, the entire Blueprint album would be on the playlist. And you were like, this is not
that is another thing that I like to do sometimes I just want to listen to an entire album front to back while working out. Not that I'm working out for that long, but you get where I'm headed with this. And there's not a ton of albums that I'm willing to be like, all right, from beginning to end, we're going to do this.
Yeah.
But Blueprint would be on there.
Yeah.
Blueprint would be on there. What is the Kendrick Lamar one with the Loyalty and all that on it? That would be on there.
Yeah. Is it called Damn?
Damn,
the album's called Damn, right? Yeah.
Yeah, the album's called Damn.
Yeah.
That would be on there. American Idiot would be on there because that's great, beginning to end.
I love the Green Day representation.
Yeah, I love Green Day.
Yeah.
Love Green Day. Green Day is one of the best live bands I've ever seen.
I've never seen Green Day live.
Treat yourself.
Have you seen the Broadway show?
No, but I watched the making of the Broadway show.
Wow, you really are a fan.
It's on Netflix. I think it was on Netflix. Actually quite cool. Though the main dude that played Billy Joe was on the Newsroom.
Yeah, the HBO show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
I love that. Yeah. Yeah, and I feel like your Jay-Z selections were very good. The H to the Izzo, I feel like people brush that off because it's so poppy.
Sure.
But if you really sit with it, like I start to have the feeling like, yes, my same story could be told through a metaphor. I relate to the person who started as a young crack dealer in the streets who's now made good. I'm like, yep, me too, Jay. Me too.
It resonates.
Yeah.
It strikes a chord. No, I agree. Yeah, I feel like I didn't put that many like female artists on there.
Well,
I could have expanded on that.
Hole was on there, which I was happy about.
Hole, yes, I love Hole. I actually, I don't know if he can hear me or not, but I had convinced John to come out to Violet when he did Bloodsport, and I was like, dude, that's the song.
That's awesome.
And hot over it, and then he did it. And I was like, I told you.
That's awesome.
Fucking told you.
And the vibe is just so great, right?
Oh my God, it's so great. Yeah, Courtney Love can be great.
I would like to see Courtney Love at Bloodsport.
Me too.
Like she'd be amazing.
Could you imagine? Oh my God, that would be spectacular. What happened to her acting career? Because she was on to something for a while.
Yeah, like People versus Larry Flint era Courtney Love. I was like, and it was that thing where it wasn't just like, grunge chick who was married to Kurt Cobain. It was like, look at this
range.
Yeah, look at this real artist. I always wonder when stuff like that happens, if she pissed off somebody behind the scenes in Hollywood.
Probably.
And they just threw the brakes on her career.
Maybe. Though she did, oh gosh, what was that show called? It was like Taraji P. Henson and
Empire?
Empire. She was on Empire for a while.
Huh. She's probably great.
Like later in the seasons, she was on Empire for a little bit. She was great.
Not surprised.
I think she was like, God, was she kind of playing herself? I don't know. I've not watched a show I watched it when I lived in New York. It was a long time ago.
Right. Because you could relate to it. You're like, yep, I'm just a New Yorker like you guys, starting my own empire.
Just like you guys. Oh, God. Well, I'm glad that you listened to my playlist because I put it out there. And when Apple Music asked me to like partner with them to do it, they're like, yeah, I don't know, like 10, 20 songs. Like, 10, 20 songs? What kind of a monster do you think I am?
Yeah.
There's 70.
There is.
Jesus. So let's get in a real workout here.
Yeah. And I tell you, I'm not the type to just, like, I'm not nice like that. Like, I won't just promote my friends' projects just because.
When you tweeted about it, I was like, oh my God. Okay, I guess I did good.
Yeah, like I actually like listened to it. Like if it had just been somebody else's face on it, I would have been like, whoever that person is, whose face I don't know, that's an incredible playlist.
Well, and we know each other, so it's even that much better.
It's a compliment.
And now we can just have a full conversation about the choices.
Yeah. So are you in the Free Britney crowd? Because Britney's on the list. Toxic is a great choice.
Yeah, of course I'm in the Free Britney club. Because listen, these videos on her Instagram of just like spinning and twirling, and it's not really dance. But the hair extensions are bad, and like the smeared makeup, she needs help. Yeah. Desperately.
Yeah. And like the point of not being free is that like, well, we need somebody to take care of her, but clearly she's not getting taken care of, is she?
No, she's being neglected big time. She's just left in this large foyer to make these dance videos. And somebody needs to intervene because I don't know if maybe her sister, maybe Jamie Lynn needs to get in there.
I think so.
She seems like she's got her head on, right?
I mean, kind of, but she blamed Tesla for running over all her cats.
Oh, okay.
I don't really trust Jamie Lynn at that point. One. Yeah.
That's a little scary.
Yeah, she blamed Elon, and I'm like, you're the one running over cats. I don't care if the car is quiet.
I don't know who her other options. Oh, she ran over them in her car and said that the car was too quiet, and the cats didn't hear it.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I mean, know where your cats are. You're pet. You got a responsibility.
Yeah, like is it an indoor or is it an outdoor cat? Let's make a decision here.
Right. And if it's an outdoor cat, don't sleep under tires.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, that's instinct kicking in at that point, I believe.
I think if you're a cat and you're sleeping under a tire of a car, you were meant to be an indoor cat.
Yeah.
Right?
You're begging to be an indoor cat.
Yeah, like I want shelter.
That's your plea. Bring me inside or I'm out of here.
Or just kill me. Just kill me now.
Just end it for me right now because I'm out. Oh my God, those poor cats. Well, I don't know who the better option is then to take care of Britney because her model boyfriend, I'm suspect of that.
Yeah, no, I think K-Fed was the one for her. I think
Yeah.
I think people think Justin Timberlake was the one that got away, but I'm pretty sure
he escaped.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure K-Fed is the one that got away. I think K-Fed and Britney were that's my dream couple.
Or her high school boyfriend that she married in Vegas and then got annulled. She was married for like 30 hours or whatever it was.
Jason Alexander, who everybody thought it was Jason Alexander from Seinfeld.
His name.
Got married. Yeah, Costanza.
Of course. Costanza. Yeah, Jason Alexander could have been in there. But yeah, no, I think that Justin Timberlake is doing quite well. Him and Jessica Biel, they seem like they're doing great.
Yeah. I mean, I was a little annoyed
about this.
I was a little annoyed because he recently said that in an article, he said that there are outfits that he wore. I think he was hinting towards the denim outfit with the denim cowboy hat. And he said he'd like to forget about them, but the internet won't let him. And I really get bothered by people who think they're too cool for their past. You know?
You made your bed, and that was an iconic look. So just relax and be happy. Like, we're not even making fun of you in it. It was a choice that was made in like 2003.
Right.
When that would have been like when it happened. Nobody was like, oh my God, I can't believe they wore these outfits. We were like, oh my God, do you see these like denim get-ups?
Yeah, we
should into it.
We should start wearing more denim.
Listen, I'm Canadian. I fully support the Canadian tuxedo.
You do. See,
I love it.
But that's what I mean. You embrace it. You don't sit there going like, oh, just because I'm Canadian, don't bring up denim. Like, you're like, yeah, let's take it all in.
Give me denim chaps. Give me a denim hat. Give me a denim vest. I want it all.
Yeah. Yeah.
No lack of denim in my life. So that's a bummer that he regrets that look. I think we all appreciated it. I was going to make fun of his hair there, but his hair's kind of similar to yours.
I mean, what's left of it.
Curls. You're still hanging on there. You're good.
I appreciate that.
The beard balances.
That was my plan from the beginning. This was all very deliberately concocted.
Quite strategic.
Yeah, very strategic. Actually, one of the Maestros guys was like, you know what you could do? And I was like, that's a good call. And then I realized that the Maestros guys are facial hair guys, and they just suggest to everyone that you should grow a beard. Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. I mean, they really hone in on their craft.
Yeah.
They chisel away at that beard. They give you a look.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what? It's time, because us ladies, we get pampered so much with like concealer, highlighter, contour. Like, we're smoke and mirrors all day long. Mm-hmm. So it's time that you guys got your smoke and mirrors.
Yes. Have you, first of all, are you planning on slowing down at all? I feel like you're very busy. You're always either doing one of these interviews with somebody, or you got your podcast coming out and a ton of video clips, or you're announcing this deal, or you got a book coming out. And I feel like I start to worry at this point that I'm like, this pregnant lady should not be doing so much. Have you started to think it's time to throw the brakes on?
Yes, I'm very tired.
Yeah.
Very tired. And I feel like I agree to things.
Mm-hmm.
And then I look at my schedule and I'm like, oh, I don't want to do any of this. I want to go take a nap.
Yeah.
I want to Postmates and some snacks. I did after I did backstage, when I was, it was like a full day, because, there, go through hair and makeup. We didn't really have any rehearsals, but we had a little baby production meeting. By the end of that show, I was so tired. I got back to the hotel room. John had ordered me a cheeseburger because he is saintly. Mm-hmm. I smashed the cheeseburger and then went immediately to bed. He was like in the middle of watching a show. I was like, can you just come watch us in bed? Because I'm going to die right now. And then I slept peacefully and it was lovely.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do feel like I feel great in my pregnancy. So I've been super lucky. And I'm also very lucky that I have all these like cool things going on. But yeah, they're like kind of overlapping a tad.
How long did it take for you to really like embrace? I mean, probably not a lot, because you always worked in a fairly independent way, but to really like know that every aspect, like there wasn't a presiding body, the way anybody who worked for any company, like for me, if I like left Sirius, I would know that doing whatever I'm doing, I don't have to think about, is Sirius going to be okay with that? Like, how long was it before you were like, oh, I'm, for the first time in a long time, completely independent and solely responsible for everything that comes out of my mouth?
Yeah, it took me a second, especially like right away. Because at first you like want to like let loose and be like, oh, I can swear a bunch and I can like have my opinions out there and like do whatever. It's nice to be able to have that freedom. But then, I think it was when I started getting ready to do oral sessions, and I was, even bouncing the name on people. And I was like, what do you think about this? And everyone hated it, which made me go, fuck it, I'm doing it for sure. So I actually, John hated it at first, and then he was like, I like it. I dig it. It works. So he supported me on after about a day, maybe 12 hours. He jumped on board.
Okay.
But yeah, even just from like, picking out what I wanted, like what do I want the wallpaper to look like in the room that I'm not even recording in, so it doesn't matter. But just not having to bounce anything off of anybody. It's almost like, I don't want to say you miss those parameters, but you're just like, oh, okay, it's all on me now. And it's like just relying on your own instincts and hoping that it's all good and fine. And it has been, but yeah, it does take you a second to really, like, even now, I would say when I first left WWE, I left, finished in Orlando after SummerSlam, drove to Jacksonville where John and I had been staying because he was taping Dynamite out there. So we had like an Airbnb out there. So we were there for, I think, like almost a month. We were out there just to not have to fly back and forth and whatever. So we just stayed, and I expected that month to just be like, okay, I can just like sit and read a book and hang out. And I did not feel that way. I felt I guess anxious in a way of like, because I didn't have something lined up. Like when I left WWE, it's not like I was like, well, I'm going to go do this. I didn't know what I was going to do. And that's what I kind of kept waiting for, was like, hey, like, is something going to come through? Should I be working on something? And I had a really hard time getting into this new work schedule, which now as everything's getting busier for me, which is great. I think I function better when I'm busy. I don't handle downtime well at all. It like freaks me out.
No, yeah, I'm very, very, very bad with it too. I actually I literally get sick for a day, and like if I have like a week off, it's just the first day, it's always like I'm like sick and I don't know what's wrong. And it's my body so like weird. Not understanding, why aren't we on this cycle where we're doing things? But I also think that
everything that's built up just like let's go in one day and then you're screwed.
Yeah. But I also think that there's a mistake that people make when they leave something, is like they're so anxious to be independent and like announce to the world, I can do whatever I want, that they use all this manic energy to go like, this is my new project. And like 2 weeks in, they're like, oh, wait, this isn't what I wanted to do. And now you're stuck because you had all that manic energy going into it. That was
something that I was very conscious of, because I think, as much as I do feel a little manic now because I have all these other projects, but I mean, the book was something I had been working on when I was at WWE. So that was already happening. But the announcement of it came like shortly after that or whatever. And then doing the podcast was really the time, like I gave myself a couple months to just like chill for a second, figure out what I wanted to do. And I was like, let's just start doing something. I don't know what it's going to turn into. I have no idea what it's going to be, but whatever. Let's just hang out, do some interviews, shoot the shit with people and put it up and see what that turns into. And it's something that I really, really enjoy doing. But yeah, it really is kind of, I didn't want to like sign a contract to something right away and be like, oh my God, I did not want to do that. Cause
exactly.
I've been in positions like that before. And it's like that knee jerk reaction of like, oh my God, I need a safety net right away. And that can be a scary thing for sure. And, you know, I mean, John was really great because I bounced so much of that off of him. I mean, obviously he went through something kind of similar when he was leaving WWE, not knowing what he was going to do. I mean, obviously he was going to wrestle, but like, is he going to go to New Japan? Is he going to go to AEW? What was he going to do? Kind of figuring out what that next step was going to be. So he was always just like, can you just have a glass of wine and chill the F out? And I was just like, I need to go do shit. I'm an independent woman. I can do whatever I want. He's like, okay, I know, but like, relax, sit on the couch for a minute, pick a show and watch it. Yeah, it's a weird thing to adjust to, but it's also, it's fun in taking the time to sort of like reconnect with myself and really check in and be like, what do you want to do now? Because you've been doing this one thing for 8 years. Let's figure out what the next thing's going to be and then be more strategic in planning with that.
Yeah. And to be somewhat deliberate in what you're doing instead of just being like, well, I can do everything. So here's an example of me doing everything. And you're like, whoa, 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 whoa,
Totally.
whoa. Like,
totally.
You're reeking of desperation and it's not attractive. Like, you know,
like slow down.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's funny because I do feel like, you know, when I left WWE and not having anything to announce right out the gate, is I think makes people, or at least made me feel that way, that I felt like people were expecting me to hurry up and announce something or like have this next big, huge splash of a moment that I was going to do. And I was like, no, I like literally have nothing lined up right now. So I'm figuring that out. but you start to like, I felt that pressure. Nobody else made me feel that pressure, but just sort of being like, if I don't announce something soon, I guess my career's over. I don't know. Like, I walk off the plank and like walk away from this like budding career I had going. It's weird, but taking that time and like, I mean, looking at the WWE schedule too, it's like doing that for 8 years and now taking, you know, if it was like 3-4 months to like really kind of figure out what I wanted to do, I really needed that because you feel that burnout more than you even imagine. Like nothing excited me and nothing seemed like, hell yeah, I really want to do that. Everything was just like, all right, figure it out. But now I feel like pumped up to like get to work and start doing some shit.
Right. Like I also feel like you have to remind yourself of, oh, like I really like this, even if it's something that has it's not work related at all. It's a hobby. It's just something just to be like, let me just take a dip in Lake Renee for a while. Let's
float around. Yeah, it was a nice little float around. And it was also really nice to like get back on that horse and be like, okay, there are things in this, like it's in like the broadcasting world or like hosting world or however that shakes out. There's so many things there that I do want to do. And I really love what I do. And now I just feel like I have the energy to put into that again. And by that, I mean, I'm pregnant and I actually don't have the energy to put into it, but I'll figure it out.
Yeah. Were you like also, and then I'm going to get pregnant. Was that part of the thing of like, I'm not going to be working, or was it just like, oh, here we go?
Well, no, like legit, I had been like trying to get pregnant for about a year. I got pregnant 2 weeks after I quit WWE. Like that month I left I left August 29th. I got pregnant like those weeks, somewhere in there.
Was it
right after?
Did you feel like that was more pressure? Like you can't have this kid with a bum of a mom who's not working. I felt like when I didn't want Jess to get pregnant until like there were literally conversations that I had because, you know, we were together for years and years and years. And, you know, the conversations would just come up casually. And I'd be like, look, I feel weird right now. Like I feel weird in the position that I'm in being somebody's dad. I don't think I'm there yet.
I did feel that. Like I definitely like, cause I mean, I found out I was pregnant and was like, oh shit, cool. Did it. Pregnant. And, but then as like taking that time and not knowing what I was going to do, I was like, well, I better figure something out soon because trying to get my footing right after having a baby, I can imagine that's a nightmare.
Right.
So I was like, I need to like get the wheels spinning on some stuff so that I'm good, have the baby, and then I still have these other projects that I'm working on so I can just kind of seamlessly dip back into those once I'm all healed up and whatnot.
That's a really romantic way to look at pregnancy.
But I really did. I was like, man, like it is important for me to like be a working mom and to like show my kid like juggling it all and figuring that out, even if it's from like the very beginning get-go, as much as there was also like another side of me was like, shit, okay, like I'm like pregnant. I can just enjoy this for a minute. And I have been working really hard for a long time. So I could just take a second and just enjoy it and be home. I mean, luckily I'm working from home right now anyways, and we'll probably continue to do so for the next while. But yeah, it's a very weird time of like embrace just being pregnant and having time off and also hurry up and get the hell back to work because you got to get your shit together before this baby gets out here.
Yeah, like put things in motion. Just get everything stacked up so that as soon as this baby pops out, you're ready to just step into it.
Yeah, it's even weird now, like being like, oh, I have to like plan like my own maternity leave. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, so are you going to do that? Like, are you going to be like, okay, I'm not going to do the podcast for 3 months? Or I feel like.
No, I mean, I think depending on how I feel, I mean, I can always record interviews ahead of time and release them.
That's true.
For a couple weeks. I have thought about the idea and I have not confirmed or had him sign a contract yet. But I've also thought of the possibility of having John host a couple episodes while I'm on. Because I think that would be fantastic.
Be awesome.
It would be really great.
Yeah.
So that's a good backup. But you know, I'll be really lucky when by the time I have the baby, my mom will be down here, so she'll at least be here to help. So if I need to take an hour to sit down and crank out an episode or do an interview or whatever, I would like to bank a few episodes just to give myself a little bit of a buffer, and then just get back into it. I only need an hour. Everyone, just give me an hour.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
But you should embrace. Like, I thought when I didn't take any paternity leave, I was right back to work. People would be like, oh man, this Sam, he's a real hard worker. But everybody's just like, you're a scumbag. Like, why wouldn't you just be there for your family? And I was like, what? I'm a provider. I work so hard. And they're like, shut up. Like, just go home.
It really put in perspective for me too, because I messaged Becky Lynch and I was like, hey, I would love to have you on my show at some point. She's like, yeah, for sure. Just let me like have this baby for a second.
Yeah.
I mean, she's had the baby since I asked her, but she needs to like get in a schedule, and like she's got other priorities. Asking for an hour of a new mother's time. I messaged her. I was like, dude, it's basically like me asking you if I can just move into your house for a month. Like,
yeah,
really asking a lot of a pregnant or a new mom to give you an hour of her time.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. There were like a couple of moments. I heard you on one interview talking about how you had never changed like a baby diaper, like it just wasn't a thing. And like I thought, I don't
know any kids.
Right,
I mean, kids,
but nor should you. Like, if you're like, yeah, I'm friends with these kids, I'd be like, what a creep. Like, what a weird person you are.
My friend Billy.
Yeah, I changed his diapers. He's 4 now, so it's cool. Like, huh? But like, I remember when we had our first, I was sitting there and, you know, I was in the maternity ward with Jess, and he was probably 2 days old, and, you know, they take him away for a while, they bring him back, they take him away, they bring him back, but he was just in there. And like I said, it's like probably day 2. And the nurse came in and she was like, have you changed his diaper yet? While Jess was taking a shower. And I was like I realized at that point, like I had this weird realization that it never occurred to me. No, because nobody told me to do it. So it never occurred to me that this is fully my responsibility. Nobody's ever going to tell me to do this. You just have to do it. And I was like, oh, no. And she was like, well, why don't you give it a try? And I was like, okay. And of course it was like, you know, something out of a bad movie. Like Jess is just laughing in the shower because she can hear me yelling because I'm getting pissed on all over the place and I don't know what I'm doing.
Like, so that's like sort of the beauty. Well, the beauty of having a girl is that she's not going to piss on us the way that a baby boy might. But the diaper changing is a far more delicate situation. You got to be real careful where you're wiping.
You have to be real careful where you're wiping, and that's even weirder to me. Like, I don't understand it at all. And then the other thing is, like, once you get into potty training, like, we literally had a conversation today. Like, I got done on the radio. It was like 10:30 in the morning. And Jess just looked at me and she was like, I've had to wash my face twice today because there was poop on it. I was like, well, look,
my God.
Again, I'm the provider. I got to go back to work. You do whatever you got to do.
I'm gonna have to like make sure my nails are nice and short.
Oh, yeah. It's just because it'll be there forever. Like you just get a whiff.
No, God, that's terrible. I never thought about that until literally this moment.
Yeah.
I mean, not that my nails are ever long, but they will be really cut back.
Yeah, you got to cut them back. You got to file them down. Yeah, and the other thing was there's this like, I remember our first, again, there was one moment where we were at home and we didn't have something. And I was like, well, let's just go to CVS and get it. And we like loaded him up into the car, in the car seat and everything, and this infant, and it's me and it's Jess. And I'm like we both had this realization at the same time, like, I'll run in, you wait in the car with him so we don't have to get him out. And I'm like, oh, this will just be for the next, forever now. This is what
there's no
we
such
do.
thing as a quick little pop out.
Yeah, no, it's just like, I mean, to this day, I'm going to go to the drive-thru and just get some food. I want to come. Okay. Let's get your shoes on. All right, put your jacket. No, it's inside out. Why are you running across the room? Come back. Put your hat on. And it's like,
John's going to lose his mind. He's more patient than I am, actually. I'll probably be the one to lose my mind.
I feel like the little that I know John, but I have seen him in his element a time or two. I feel like he is going to bunker down with this baby. Like the two of them are going to be this
They're going to be
army. Yeah, they're going to be best friends. They're going to be an army. You're going to, at first, the baby will. Yeah, you will. The baby will love you at very first. But once
she'll turn a corner. No, I'm already prepared for it. I know that. I know our baby is going to really be obsessed with John.
Yeah, yeah, and her. Like it'll just be one of those things where it's like, no, we're buddies here. Like this is.
It's funny because initially when I was like, oh, we're having a girl. Oh my God, great! I'm gonna have like my best friend for life.
No.
We're gonna be thick as thieves. And then I was like, the realization. I'm like, oh no, she's going to be obsessed with her dad.
Yeah.
She's going to love her dad more than her mom.
Yeah. Our boy is like,
I'm grateful.
He'll eat anything. He'll do anything. He's the sweetest thing ever. And our girl is like, hey, do you want this? No. Hey, will you try some of this? No. Can I have a kiss? No. It's just attitude, just radiating attitude out of nowhere. And I'm like, yeah, this is
great. Yeah, we're going to be screwed.
This is great. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be fantastic.
I'm pretty pumped for it. I'm excited to like meet her. She really rattles around in here too. Like she's like moving constantly, like stomping on my bladder, kicking around.
Mm-hmm. Do you like that?
It's weird. It's actually kind
still
of
weird.
creepy.
Yeah.
Well, I've only been able to feel her kicking like that for like maybe like almost 2 weeks. But every time it happens, I'm like, I just like start laughing because I can't believe that this like creature is communicating with me.
Yeah.
It's so bizarre.
Yeah, because then you start to wrap your head around the fact this isn't conceptual. This is a person, and it'll be here, and your life will be different forever.
Yeah, this person that's like one day going to have like a job, and she's going to have likes and dislikes and all these different things. Yeah, right now she's just like, I don't know, hanging out in some amniotic fluid, but she's going to come out with a tour de force.
Yeah, the other day Jess was like, she's like looking at me as the kids are just going insane, you know, as they do every single day, and going like, what did we used to do? Yeah. And I was like, I literally have no recollection. I wouldn't possibly know what to do with all that time. Like, I don't know what we used to do.
Yeah. I mean, we're even like that with our dogs. We're like, what did we do before we had dogs? Like, what did we do with ourselves?
Yeah.
So I can't even imagine what that's like after you have kids to imagine this free time. And even like when I was like, should probably like have a baby. It's like all we're doing, we're just sitting around watching shows anyways. Just bring a kid in.
Yeah, and you could like
we're doing anything spectacular. Like just have a kid.
Plus, you could still watch your shows for the first year at least. Yes, like the kid's not going to be like, "Will you change this?" You rock the kid. You watch your show.
Yeah,
you're good.
We like cartoons and stuff, anyways. Like I'm excited to like introduce my kid to like the movies that I love and like TV shows I used to watch and stuff. Like I'm looking forward to that.
So, what age? Because like I'll sit there. Like here's the thing. This is gonna get tricky because at first though she'll probably love it, right? Because she'll love whatever. But like I mean, literally by 3. It's like, no, can I watch toy reviews on YouTube? And you're like,
oh my God.
Yeah, that's the way it's going to be. It would be like, if you were a kid and you were watching whatever. I watched Thundercats, I watched Ninja Turtles, and your mom was like, let's watch Howdy Doody. You'd be like, what are you talking about? I'm not going to watch that. That's ridiculous. Now it's like, hey, look at this like kid playing with his toys on YouTube. That's just so what it is.
Weird. It's so weird. Yeah, even just like I don't know how it popped on, but there was like some like kids show playing, and John and I were like, man, kids shows these days suck. They're all like this like 3D animation, and like, yeah, the animation really gets me. I don't like it. I like the old shitty animation.
Yeah,
it's so much better. I'm gonna have to like download a bunch of like weird Canadian shows too to like really get my kid into it. She's not gonna like it.
If your husband does host oral sessions, I mean, a children's television review of just him explaining why these suck so much. I mean, that would actually be fantastic because he has very strong opinions on it. Like, he likes a lot of cartoons, so he has very strong opinions on like kids shows and stuff. So that would be a great segment. I forget who I was talking to recently, but it was somebody from Canada, and I was going to try to relate to him. And I brought up Degrassi, The Next Generation, and they just looked at me blankly. And I was like, what? You leave me alone out here? Is this... Like they didn't know it or they just didn't like it? I didn't watch it. Yeah, they weren't really aware of it. And I was like, huh? Who was this person? I don't remember who it was. Throw them under the bus right now. I'll tell you. Maybe I'll figure out who it was and I'll put a little subtitle in. Probably not. But obviously I remember Degrassi being on TV, but I never really watched it. I remember like wanting to audition for Degrassi, and that did not happen. But I think they started doing like another version of it, like since Drake has been off of it. They did. First of all, it's a fabulous show. I love it. Second of all,
I almost feel like it was bigger in the U.S. than it was in Canada.
Really? Like when it was on like the teen Nickelodeon channel that I was watching in my 20s?
I don't remember any of my friends watching Degrassi.
That's so interesting. Yeah, because
but it's like such a thing in the U.S. Everyone's like, oh, we watched Degrassi, but like for us, it was like sort of like, I don't know, a show no one really cared about. We were watching like Breaker High was a big one, which
I never heard of that.
Ryan Gosling was on that.
Oh.
And it's like a bunch of like high school students on a cruise ship. But that was a good one. Breaker High was one. But then we watched, it was more like I always just watched Fresh Prince and like, I guess Saved by the Bell a bit.
Yeah. R.I.P. Screech.
Family Matters. I know. R.I.P. Screech.
Yeah.
Gosh.
I was having this conversation earlier. Do you think, who do you think's the bigger icon, Urkel or Screech?
That's a good question. I think for me personally, I'm going to go Urkel because I was more of a Family Matters. I liked Save the Bell, but I was more of a Family Matters person. So I'm going to go Urkel.
Yeah.
So I like Stefan Urkel can get it. Like that blew everyone's mind when he turned into Stefan Urkel. Everyone's like, "Oh my God, what a babe!"
Yeah,
no one saw that coming.
He had this in him. The real Jaleel White is probably like a little bit of Urkel and a little bit of Stefan, and you'd be like, "Oh, he's just like Stefan," and then he'd do so, and you'd be like, "Oh, he's a little Urkel too."
I feel like he is probably so trying in real life to remind everyone that he is Stefan Urkel, that he's now a nerd.
Yeah.
Like he would just be like going way over the top to be like, no, I am really, this is more me. And everyone's like,
Sure. Yeah.
There's no way.
Like, we all know who was pushing the Stefan Urkel storyline. I mean, Jaleel White was behind the scenes going like, yeah.
I am not getting nearly the amount of pee in this town as I should be. We need to get Stefan Urkel out there.
Chicago should be throwing it at me at this point.
Yes. Oh my God. I mean, truthfully, though, I bet you he could probably go out in public kind of undetected. Because, if you're not dressed up as
until the Stefan years,
then you're screwed.
Then
he had a good window where he could have been kind of.
If you had your pants at a suitable spot on your waist.
A suspender, some glasses.
Right. Yeah.
I also liked Waldo. I think Waldo was an underrated character.
Oh, my God. He was great. Waldo Geraldo Faldo. Is that his name?
Yeah, I always really liked him.
Yeah.
Good. He was like Family Matters jazz.
Yeah. I always like to think of Family Matters, too, as a Die Hard spinoff. When I see the actor that played Carl as the cop in Die Hard, I'm like, clearly he's in Chicago, not Los Angeles, right? Yeah. Like this is Officer Winslow, right? Right?
Carl Winslow. It's so great. What a good show. So
you wanted to you wanted to be on TV from the time you were a kid?
I would say more like a teenager. Mm-hmm. Yeah. More as like a teenager, like late teens. Prior to that, all I wanted to do was play sports, so I didn't really care about anything. But then I was like, hey, maybe I kind of like want to like do some acting, but like more. I really want to do more like comedic acting for the most part. But then I went through a phase where I was like, maybe I should be like an art house film actress.
Nice.
None of these things happened. But yeah, I was always kind of around entertainment to a degree, just because my dad worked in the music industry and stuff. So I was always at like concerts and always like, at different like rehearsals. And I was on like the Anne Murray Christmas show when I was like a kid. That was like my first time ever doing, I was just like an extra. Mm-hmm. I actually was caught picking my nose on the window and they aired it for some reason.
It's like that little kid in Back to the Future 3 that's pinching his D for whatever reason. Have you seen that?
No, I've not seen Back to the Future 3, but just a little pinch and roll.
Well, at the end of Back to the Future 3, Doc comes back from the Old West in a steam engine train that he turned into a time machine. And his kids that he had with Mary Steenburgen, I think is her name.
What's her name?
Yeah, they come out of the train. And maybe he's not pinching. I think he's pointing at it. One of them, and it's in the final cut. Like if you watch the movie now, you'll see it at the very end. He just starts pointing to his D, and you're just
to pee. So like, are we done with the scene? Can somebody yell cut? Because I'm about to piss my tiny little baby jeans.
Maybe, yeah.
Poor little guy. Yeah, I was like picking my nose, like looking out a frosted window at some figure skating. It was a Christmas episode. But yeah, I think once I kind of like wrapped my head around what I really wanted to do. I mean, I always loved like being like a ham, like center of attention, obnoxiously. But yeah, I didn't start auditioning for stuff until I was, I guess, like 18, 19. Yeah, I guess 18, right out of high school.
Right. So you were an adult. It wasn't like you wanted to be a kid star.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a consensual adult.
You were consenting. Mom, I want to be in TV. Not until you can consent, yeah. Renee.
Not until you can drive your own ass down to your audition.
Yeah, that's true. That's probably what it was. Yeah.
Taking you downtown. Hell no.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. I don't believe in you enough that I'm going to, I don't think you're going to make enough money that I'm going to be able to steal it from you. So 100%. I am not.
That is how that boiled down. I was like, you don't have it, kid.
Get back to softball, Paquette. You don't
get back on the ice.
Yeah, you don't have
up your skates. Let's go.
Is that what you were playing, hockey?
I was playing ringette, which is like, it's similar to hockey if I can just break it down in like a terms for people that don't know what ringette is. So it's like hockey. It's played on ice, but there's no blade on the end of the stick. It's just straight, and then you use like a rubber ring.
Why didn't you just play hockey?
Goals. Well, because all of my friends, I started playing when I was like 7 or 8, and my friends all played ringette because their older sisters played it. So I was like, well, I'm going to go do what my friends are doing.
That makes sense.
But then I like got kind of good at it. I can like skate fairly well. So my dad's a huge hockey fan. So he always really wanted me to switch over and play hockey because I think he was like, maybe you could do this.
Yeah. I
mean, not as sad as it is, there's not really much of a career for women in hockey, but playing it, that is. I mean, there is the WNHL, which we don't need to get into that can of worms.
Let's not get controversial here.
Let's not get controversial. Good God. Yeah, I know. I always I started playing hockey when I was older. Like I played in like some women's leagues, some like co-ed leagues. So like I can play hockey, but I'm much better at ringette. My stick handling's terrible. Yeah, it's quite shameful. But I'm decent at like road hockey. I'm better with a tennis ball. I'm not good with a puck.
I see. That's interesting. Yeah. I figured it would be like the exact same.
They're not the exact same. No, because a ball is like easy to get. You can like, get up in that top corner, top shelf that baby. A lot easier with a tennis ball when you've got the puck. It's heavier. It's heavier than you would anticipate too. You get hit with that thing, it also sucks.
Yeah, it does.
So, like, I liked playing hockey, but I was much better at ringette. So I would just start. I played until I was like in like my mid 20s. And I was like, okay, I guess I better hang up these skates.
Yeah, because the problem is that as much as it's difficult to find a career as a lady hockey player, it's even more difficult to find a career as a lady ringette player.
There's truly no place for it.
Yeah.
There's not. I mean, I could have been Haley Wickenheiser, but I'm not. I could have been Manon Rhéaume, but I'm not.
Oh, regrets.
I know.
Yeah. But you never got into figure skating or anything like that? No. You didn't want to be Tanya Harding?
No, I had no desire to. I've never even worn figure skates. I've never even had them on my feet.
Can I tell you something right now? If you told me right now that a figure skater just skates in the same thing they wear for hockey, I'd be like, yeah, okay, I believe you. I had no idea.
No, they're different. I mean, that's when if you've ever seen, is it called Cutting Edge? The like figure skater romance movie from like the 80s or 90s. I think it's called Cutting Edge.
Yeah, I missed that one, unfortunately.
Well, definitely watch it.
I'll check it out.
It's great. But yeah, there's like a pick on the skate, and they're like sharpened differently. It's a softer boot. It's like a completely different ball game.
Well,
yeah. Well, get with the sports, Sam.
You're right.
Come on. I worked at a sports store like for all of high school, and like sharpened skates and like sold hockey equipment, like lacrosse equipment and shit.
That's awesome. That seems like
it was a good gig.
Yeah, it seems like a good gig for a high school job.
Oh, it was great. Yeah, I worked there maybe like a year outside of high school as well. Like worked like the daytime shift, and I realized nobody came in, and we would set up all the goalie pads and just like take naps. It was awesome. That's
amazing. I worked at a lawn furniture store called Smith and Hawken.
Okay.
Right, but I worked only in the back. They hired me for my muscle. They wanted me to unload the truck and everything.
Of course, brawn.
Yeah, the pure brawn. But it was like the back room. They had built one of those bathrooms that there was never intended to be a bathroom there. So like there was a door and walls, but the ceiling was low. There was a ceiling, and then there was another ceiling for the bathroom. So we used to just take all the lawn cushions, like for the chaise lounges, and throw them up on the low ceiling. And then we could use a ladder to just climb up and take a nap.
A little fort
on the ceiling.
A little fort situation. Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
I mean, those are like the good jobs when no one actually expects you to do anything. You're like 18, 19. You're just like totally like bumble fucking around.
Yeah.
I had so many dumb jobs like that. I used to work at like a garden center as well. Also as the brawn, just like loading like soil into people's cars, pruning plants, whatever. I hated that job too. It started so early. People go to garden centers so early. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, because they don't go like the night before to get ready. Like they show up at 6 o'clock in the morning because they want to spend the day gardening and they need their supplies.
It's horrible. Yeah. Very early call time.
Yeah.
I was not into it.
And then manual labor.
Oh no. That's
if.
my nightmare. I hate that. I hate it.
That's why we get into entertainment. We sit in a makeup chair. We say whatever the teleprompter says. And we go about, and then we go home as if we're exhausted and had a really tough day today. Oh my God. And then I
am just pooped and drained.
Yeah.
Doing any kind of physicality in a job is just, it's truly not for me.
Right. And that's why you got involved with professional wrestling.
Exactly. That's why I married a professional wrestler. So I'm like, hey, can you lift this?
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. You got those big wrestler arms, right?
Yeah, strong.
Let's put them to work.
For me, please. Usually met with like a look of like, no, thank you. He doesn't want to do it either. he only lifts things to get paid. He has to be paid for it. He doesn't do it for free.
Yeah. I mean,
I learned that very quickly when we had our first Halloween at our house. I was like, yo, can you climb this ladder and go hang this giant bat for me?
Yeah.
He was like, I'm not climbing a ladder on my off day. He like, firmly shut me down.
Yeah. Well, never ask him to use light tubes or hang up some barbed wire on a fence because it's going to be met poorly. Renee Paquette, I hope by now everybody's pre-ordered the cookbook, Messy in the Kitchen. It's on Amazon. Let's feed this baby. You know what I mean? We got another mouth to feed.
She's hungry, let me tell you.
Let's sell some books. Let's download some podcasts. You can also go to the Oral Sessions Renee Paquette YouTube page and see all the clips and everything to see the kind of stimulating and wonderful conversations that you're going to get with, I mean, really great guests. You've had great guests on every week. Guests.
I know. I've been really, really lucky. We've got Stipe Miocic on this week.
Oh my God.
Which will be really cool. And I mean, I've had some really great guests. People have been very cool with, I'm just pulling in some favors right now.
Yeah. Well, I guess at some point, like it seems exhausting to live an existence like you where like everybody likes you and you kind of act like you're just like friends with everybody. Like that seems exhausting to me. So at some point, you've got to cash in those chips and be like, well, you know, I've been really working hard so that everybody likes me.
We've been buds for a while.
Do my podcast.
Show for a little bit.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Tricky thing with that I found too, as I know you're wrapping up the show, but.
Well, I'm trying to, I mean, you're the pregnant one. I'll do this all day. Like, don't do it on my kind of.
Having friends on and knowing so much of their personal information and deciding what's allowed on the show and what's not allowed on the show.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's always
like really filter through that of like, are we allowed to talk about this or not?
It's always, you gotta, here's the way I do it. You artfully figure out, if you want to even talk about it, right? You artfully figure out a way to throw like the most mundane piece of bait. Like this is where this conversation is going to lead. And then you let them give you back a little something. And then you give them back a little something. Like you have to kind of get them to a place where you're setting them up perfectly to say it themselves. And then if they avoid it, you're like, oh, okay, I guess we're not going to talk about this.
I appreciate that you have strategy in your interviews because I don't. I have like a couple questions and I just like hope for the best, but I don't have any strategy in like getting something out of people. I need to work on that. We should do a tutorial one day. You can like give me a rundown on how you do it.
That sounds great. That sounds great. And then we can sell it as a master class.
Perfect.
Right?
Us right after RuPaul, because RuPaul's is very good.
Have you seen? I have not seen RuPaul's masterclass, but
good.
I'll.
It's the only one I've seen.
I'll check that out. Well, it was interesting doing this, Renee. I mean, I know we've spoken before, but I got very, very comfortable for a period of time in my life with you setting the table and just allowing me to blab my nonsense. So
it was a good time. We had a good run.
I mean, yeah, it was very fun, and I always credit like
the A squad. We're the A squad.
I mean, yeah, we are. Yeah, we are.
These other guys are hacks.
Yeah, I mean, it's It's embarrassing at this point. Let's be honest. I always credit, you should know, this moment, like the first time I went into WWE, and like I was losing my mind because like they just came in and they were like, yeah, just go in and be yourself. And I'm like, I don't think you understand. I've been an insane wrestling fan for my entire life. That's who myself is. I'm not good. I don't know what you thought you were getting with me. Like, I'm not this guy so I'm like, I don't know how this is going to go. I was very, very nervous. And we don't really rehearse, but we ran through it once. And it was you and it was Booker. Thank God it was you and Booker. Because I literally, right after that run through, I called my wife at home and I said, don't worry, it's going to be fun. Because I was like, oh my God. Like I just immediately caught the vibe of everything that you and Booker were putting out there. And I was like, they're going to take care of me. This is going to be great. We're going to have fun.
Jesus, take the wheel.
This is going to be awesome.
We had it.
And it was awesome. And you know,
it was great.
To this day, I mean, the last time I was in front of the last time I was in a room with a ton of people, actually, I think it's the last time I did a thing for the main roster. It was you, me, and Booker in a baseball stadium for Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
It was really, really fun.
That was, God, was that the same for me? I might be in the same boat as you.
Yeah, maybe.
I think I might be, because when I came to do Rumble, I wasn't on the road regularly at this point, because I was just doing backstage. I might be in the same boat as you with that. Yeah. Can I tell you a good time? It was great.
My favorite thing that you did on television before you left, you know, in this last year, the one time I was like, yeah, this is something that, like, Renee is perfect for this. It was roving reporter Renee after the Elias Jeff Hardy car crash thing. And you were like being like the news reporter lady outside. And I was like, there's all this stuff going on. I was like, this is perfect. I love this. This is amazing.
That was fucking awesome. That was so funny. I'm like, oh my God. I mean, that's a whole other podcast about like, what am I doing? What am I saying?
Yeah.
Who am I following? Is Jeff okay? Like, what?
Yeah. And you're like, wait, guys, come with me. Come with me. And like, you're walking around and like, oh, Jeff Hardy's over here and the car's crashed over here and an ambulance is here. And it was all like, there was so much stuff going on. And you were like, you know, the local reporter going like, I'm in it. Like you were like Nightcrawler, Jake Gyllenhaal, like Jess.
Oh my God. I'm actually surprised we did that in one take. I thought when we started doing that we'd be there all day trying to get that together. And they were like, great, we got it. I was like, oh, really?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Well,
I thought that was going to be a whole day shoot.
I'm not surprised, Renee. You're a pro.
That's me.
You're a pro.
It was all me, guys. It was all me.
I appreciate you being so generous of your time, and we'll have to do this again, Renee.
Definitely. Yeah, it was great getting to see you and hang out.
Awesome.
Bye, Sammy.
Bye.